no energy, zero motivation, can't focus. Before you blame yourself, try this one thing. Have you ever sat down to work, stared at your screen, and felt like your brain just wouldn't start? You're not alone. But here's what most productivity gurus won't tell you. That feeling isn't laziness. It's your brain begging for the right kind of rest. Today, I'm sharing the science-backed trick that's helped thousands of my clients break through mental fatigue. It's not another cup of coffee. It's not a fancy app. It's a simple technique that works with your brain instead of against it. Chapter 1. The energy crisis. Nobody's talking about. Let's be honest, we're all exhausted. Studies show that 76% of workers report feeling burnout at least sometimes. But here's the twist. Most of us are diagnosing our problem completely wrong. When you feel too tired to work, your first thought is probably something like, I need more motivation, or I should push harder, or worst of all, I'm just lazy. But neuroscience tells us something completely different. Your brain isn't designed for the constant barrage of information and decisions you're forcing it to handle. Every notification, every switch between tasks, every minute spent in a noisy environment is draining your cognitive resources. Dr. Gloria Mark from UC Irvine found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after a distraction. Think about how many times your focus gets interrupted in a day. Quick recap, you're not lazy. Your brain is overstimulated and under-recovered. And the solution isn't more pushing, it's smarter recovery. Coming up next, I'll share the exact technique that helped me write a book while working full-time and show you how to implement it immediately. Plus, the science that explains why it works so well. Chapter 2. The Reset Trick. The 20-20-20 Rule. Here's the one trick that changed everything for me. The 20-20-20 Rule. It works like this. Work with complete focus for 20 minutes. Look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds to reset your eyes. Move your body for 20 seconds to reset your body. That's it. Simple, right? But the effects are powerful. Let me explain what's happening in your brain. When you work intensely for 20 minutes, you're using what psychologists call directed attention. This is a limited resource that gets depleted quickly. The 20-second eye break helps prevent digital eye strain, which affects about 59% of Americans. And the 20 seconds of movement triggers the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which literally helps your brain grow new connections. The beauty of this method is that it works with your brain's natural rhythm. Research from the productivity software company DeskTime found that the most productive people work for an average of 52 minutes, followed by a 17-minute break. The 20-20-20 rule is simply a micro version of this natural productivity cycle. How to implement it. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Close all notifications and distractions. Work on one task only. When the timer goes off, look out a window or at a distant wall for 20 seconds, then stand up and stretch. Do jumping jacks, or even just walk in place for 20 seconds. Repeat. Most people notice an immediate difference in their energy and focus. And here's why. You're giving your brain exactly what it needs. Focused work periods followed by the right kind of recovery. Chapter 3. The Science of Mental Fatigue. To really understand why this works, we need to talk about what's actually happening when you feel too tired to work. Your brain runs on glucose, literally sugar, and uses about 20% of your body's energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. Complex thinking tasks like problem-solving, creative work, and decision-making use even more energy. When neuroscientists look at brain scans of people experiencing mental fatigue, they see reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, planning, and impulse control. It's not that you're lazy. Your brain is temporarily out of fuel. And here's where most of us go wrong. We try to power through. We reach for caffeine, sugar, or just pure willpower. But that's like flooring the gas pedal when your car is out of gas. A study from the University of Illinois found that brief diversions from a task dramatically improve performance. Participants who took short breaks maintained their focus, while those who worked continuously saw their performance decline significantly. Quick recap: your brain has limited energy for focused work. The 20-20-20 rule provides strategic recovery that replenishes your mental resources, preventing the crash before it happens. Next, I'll share the 3 biggest mistakes people make when trying to overcome fatigue and how the 20-20-20 rule addresses each one. Chapter 4: the 3 fatigue triggers and how to beat them beyond just general mental fatigue. There are 3 specific triggers that drain your energy faster than anything else. Understanding these will help you use the 20-20-20 rule even more effectively. Trigger number 1: decision fatigue. Every decision you make, big or small, depletes your mental energy. A famous study of judges found they were more likely to grant parole earlier in the day or right after food breaks when their mental energy was higher. The 20-20-20 solution: during your 20 minutes of focus, work from a pre-decided list. Don't decide what to work on during your focus time. Make those decisions during your planning sessions. Trigger number 2: attention residue. When you switch from one task to another, part of your attention stays stuck on the previous task. Psychology professor Sophie Leroy calls this attention residue, and it can reduce your performance by up to 40%. The 20-20-20 solution: use the 20-second movement break to physically shake off the previous task. Say to yourself, that task is complete for now, and visualize setting it aside. Trigger number 3: sensory overload. Your brain processes an estimated 11 million bits of information every second, but your conscious mind can only handle about 50 bits. Modern work environments bombard us with sensory input: screens, notifications, conversations, background noise. The 20-20-20 solution: the 20-second eye break gives your visual processing system a chance to reset. Look at something natural or distant to allow different visual neurons to activate. Chapter 5: beyond the 20-20-20, the starter ritual. While the 20-20-20 rule is perfect for maintaining energy throughout your workday, what about those times when you're so exhausted you can't even get started? That's where the starter ritual comes in, a powerful complement to our main technique. The starter ritual works like this: when you feel too tired to work, don't work. Instead, start a 5-minute ritual that signals to your brain it's time to shift gears. Your ritual might include making a cup of tea or coffee, a short walk around the block, a series of stretches, writing 3 things you're grateful for, setting up your workspace, clearing distractions, organizing materials. The key is consistency. By performing the same actions each time, you create a neurological pathway that prepares your brain for focused work. It's like a warm-up for your mind. Stanford neurologist Andrew Huberman explains that these transition rituals help activate your brain's focus networks before you need them, making it easier to overcome initial resistance. I've seen people transform their productivity with even the simplest rituals. One client, a writer who struggled with procrastination, developed a ritual of lighting a candle, setting a timer for 3 minutes of meditation, and then writing 1 sentence. After that first sentence, continuing became much easier. Quick recap: when energy is lowest, don't force yourself to work right away. Use a consistent starter ritual to ease your brain into focus mode, then transition to the 20-20-20 rule to maintain that energy. Next, I'll share how to customize these techniques for different types of work and energy levels. Chapter 6: customizing for your brain. Type: not all brains work the same way. Some people are natural sprinters, others are marathoners. Understanding your personal energy pattern will help you get the most from the 20-20-20 technique. For creative workers: if you do creative work like writing, design, or problem solving, you might benefit from slightly longer focus sessions. Try 25 minutes of focus instead of 20, but keep the rest periods the same. During your 20-second movement break, try movements that cross the midline of your body, like touching your right hand to your left knee. Research shows these cross-lateral movements help integrate the hemispheres of your brain, potentially boosting creativity. For detail-oriented work, if your work involves detailed analysis, coding, or precision tasks, you might do better with shorter focus periods. Try 15 minutes of intense focus, followed by the regular 20-20 recovery. Use your eye break to focus on something with natural patterns like plants or clouds. Studies show that viewing fractal patterns in nature can reduce stress by up to 60%. For high-stress environments, if you work in a high-pressure environment, add deep breathing to your 20-second movement break. 4 seconds in through the nose, 6 seconds out through the mouth. Activates your parasympathetic nervous system, counteracting stress hormones. Chapter 7. The Paradox of Rest and Productivity. Here's something counterintuitive. The most productive people aren't working more hours, they're resting more effectively. A Harvard Business Review study found that top performers weren't putting in more hours. They were taking more breaks. Specifically, they took breaks before they felt tired, not after. This is the secret that changed everything for me. For years, I pushed myself to exhaustion, thinking that was the price of success. I'd work until I crashed, recover just enough to function, then repeat the cycle. The result? Burnout, frustration, and ironically, less actual output. When I started implementing the 20-20-20 rule, something remarkable happened. I could work for longer overall, but with better quality. Projects that used to drain me became energizing. My creative output increased, and so did my enjoyment of the work. Microsoft Japan tested a 4-day workweek and saw productivity jump by 40%. Why? Because rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation of it. Quick recap: strategic rest. Like the 20-20-20 rule, doesn't reduce your work output. It enhances it by preventing the quality decline that comes with fatigue. Coming up next, I'll share how to track your results and troubleshoot common problems with implementing these techniques. Chapter 8. Tracking your energy and results. To really see the impact of the 20-20-20 rule, try this simple tracking method. Rate your energy level on a scale of 1 to 10 before you start working, after each 20-20-20 cycle, at the end of your workday. Also track how many tasks you complete and how satisfied you are with the quality of your work. After a week, review your data. Most people notice more stable energy throughout the day, higher quality work, especially in the afternoon, more completed tasks despite taking more breaks, less end-of-day exhaustion. If you're not seeing results, here are common troubleshooting tips. Your focus periods might be too long or too short for your brain type. You might be bringing your phone or other distractions into your break periods. You might need more substantial recovery if you're starting from a deficit. Your work environment might have too many unavoidable interruptions. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about finding the rhythm that works best for your unique brain and work situation. Chapter 9. From Theory to Practice. Your action plan. Let's make this practical. Here's your 3-day plan to implement what you've learned. Day 1. Baseline work. As you normally do, but track your energy levels hourly. Note when your focus and energy drop. Identify your peak energy windows. Day 2. Implement the 20-20-20 rule. Set up a timer system. Follow the rule strictly for 1 day. Track the same energy metrics. Day 3. Add the starter ritual design. Your personal 5-minute starter ritual. Use it before your first work session and after lunch. Continue the 20-20-20 rule throughout the day. Within just 3 days, you'll likely notice a significant difference in how you feel and how much you accomplish. Chapter 10. Conclusion. Energy management is the new time management. For decades, we've been obsessed with time management. But time isn't really the problem for most of us. Energy is. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more energy in the hours you have. The 20-20-20 rule isn't just another productivity hack. It's a different philosophy, one that respects the biological reality of your brain instead of fighting against it. When you work with your brain's natural rhythms instead of against them, everything changes. Work becomes less draining. Ideas flow more easily. And that voice in your head that says, "I'm too tired," shows up less and less often. Remember, you're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just human, with a human brain that needs the right kind of care to perform at its best. Try the 20-20-20 rule today and discover what your brain is really capable of when you give it what it needs. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button to get more science-backed strategies for working smarter, not harder.